if you ask the guy at a sort of surface level, do you deal with worthiness issues? He's like, fuck you, dude. Like, like I don't have any worthiness issues. But if you were to really get into the heart of hearts, or they were to actually take the time to reflect on it, they probably realize like, oh yeah, like here's how I'm coping to make sure that I never even have to get even close to feeling the pain of that wound.
Once you tap into exactly what you're saying there, once you tap in, and I see with a lot of men, I see that the feeling of inadequacy, insecurity, scarcity. Those are some big ones that I see in all men. And once you go down the path and just develop awareness, like the first step is awareness, where becoming aware that you have a blind spot. We all have blind spots. Becoming aware of where that blind spot is. Oh, I'm feeling a level of inadequacy, not feeling valued, not feeling wanted. I'm not good enough. Self-doubt, a feeling of insecurity, and of course the scarcity. Once you start to become aware of that, now you own it. Now you're responsible for that. You can't just go back and make an excuse and play victim. Like, you own it. And then once you see it and you start to try it on and you start to shift, you can start to see it in others. And it's amazing how we used to attract people who were also feeling adequate, also feeling insecure, also feeling a level of scarcity. And once you become aware, you can sniff that out and recognize, okay, this potential relationship, maybe an intimate relationship or a business partnership, is in alignment because I'm sensing the insecurity in this person. And that's going to affect me. Like, that's not where I'm at right now. And you can see it, man, in some of the biggest, quote unquote, successful men in our current time right now. You can see people, some of them who were dealing with insecurity and inadequacy.
I think a lot of our across the board, a lot of the global leaders are probably dealing with that. And the challenge is when you have all that sort of power and you haven't done the work, it's really, I have a lot of, it's brought up a lot of fear in me. I have I have more faith. And so I don't get wrapped up into the, sort of the going off of the end, off of the rails in that regard, or off the deep end in terms of, how bad can it get? But it makes me, there is a little bit of worry and hope that, the people who step into leadership next will have done this sort of work. Because when all of a sudden you come from that sort of place, and collectively, we all come from that sort of place where we've done the work to put down, we've done our shadow work. Because I think that's what a lot of people don't realize is the entire society is walking around with these masks, lying to themselves, right? If everybody collectively is lying to themselves, like, what does that do on a really macro global level? And so, at least we as individuals can start to do the work on our own. And I think like that Michael Jackson sort of song, right? Like the man in the mirror thing. Like, if I want to change the world, like let's start here. And that at least gives us a place to get going.
It's all a mirror. Disruption is a mirror. The hardness, the chaos that's going on is simply a mirror reflecting back to you where you are unhealed. And so I mean, all the people getting triggered online about, one side or the other and all that, the triggering is a mirror back to where they are not healed, where there is a level of pain that they aren't aware of and need to be addressed. And it's being, the person on the other side is triggering them, whether it be in a relationship or a political party or whatever. They're being triggered by this person because of things that are unhealed in themselves. So those triggers should be a mirror back into, okay, wow, why is this triggering me? What am I feeling in the moment? Which is most men, so almost all men don't do. Oh, I'm triggered in this moment. My wife triggered me, or this post triggered me. What am I feeling in the moment? Oh, I'm feeling angry. I'm feeling unwanted. I'm feeling disrespected, whatever. And that hurts. I'm feeling hurt. Okay. Now we got to a feeling. You're feeling hurt. Probably not the first time you felt hurt before. To your point, the shadow, where it in the back. Have you felt hurt before? Okay. We can start to put it together that when this happens, you feel a pain of hurt. So now instead of blasting back, well, forget your party. You guys are the worst. Or to a intimate partner who you love, well, you did this, da da da. You know what? I'm feeling hurt in this moment right now. Wow. I mean, a shift in a dynamic for an individual, for a couple in a relationship, for a community, for society, we can start to tap into what are we really feeling in these moments. Samir.
Yeah, I've really drawn on breathwork has been a big thing for me. I got into meditation probably about a little over a decade ago, and that was great. And I think it was a great foundation. Um, and breathwork was sort of another layer on top of that to help me unstick a lot of the bullshit that's going on in my head. To be able to sort of have that be that observer and step outside of the programming and realize that it is some sort of programming. Are there tools or practices or habits that you fall back on or that you suggest or recommend often?
Wow. This was a life changer for me. A really good question because the discipline is great, and I've always had a lot of discipline, but I just didn't have a standard by which I lived by for most of my life until I just had enough pain and enough suffering and enough heartbreak and enough to say, okay, look, I need to set a standard for myself, and that standard for me now, because as a single father, as a business owner, it's so easy to start my day and just give to everyone else. Get up, get the kids going, get the lunches ready, get them out the door, get them to school. Then we've got practices and Uber driver and then client meetings and marketing and recording podcasts. And I wasn't in. I took a step back and like I'm not in this day. Me, I'm serving everyone else. And it goes back to that old simple adage of put your mask on first on the airplane before you put it on anyone else. So I decided to do that. So my mornings, I said that I can tackle the mornings and make them about me. Get myself primed and ready to go so that I can show up as the man, as the leader, as the father, as a future partner for someone that I really want to be. And so my mornings are I do 5 key things, and it's all based on the pillars of my whole Be the Torch program, and that's focusing, hitting focus, which is my meditation time, my journaling time, my gratitude journal time. Then I do fitness. So I do some level of fitness. Some days I compete on the master's level of track and field. So I'm a competitive athlete for old people. And I so I have my training days, which oftentimes can be on the weekends or in the afternoons, but I'm always doing something in the morning, whether it's doing my core, doing my hip flexors, uh, just getting out and just doing a walk. I've got a little river walk down the out of my back here, just doing a walk, something to get the heart pumping, get myself going. Or it may be it's my gym time. I'll go do some weights, whatever it may be. Something that is fitness related, body related. Family, I send a message to my kids. I'm dating somebody now, so I'll send a message to her. Hey, just thinking of you this morning, blah, blah, blah. Just making deposits in the bank, in that love bank, making deposits. Or a friend or a colleague, hey, hope you're doing well. So you got the promotion, just checking in. It takes 2 minutes, a quick text, a quick email, a voice message, something simple. I don't make it too robust. Then fortune, I do something to invest in me as a business owner. I feel that as business owners, it's very easy to get into competency. So I don't ever want to be competent. I want to be humble. Where can I grow? Where can I evolve? So every given day, I have either I'm listening to a podcast after I drop the kids off on the way back, or I'm reading something, a couple pages in my book. And uh, and so I hit the focus, the family, the fitness, the fortune, and the foundation. The foundation is the core, the connection to a higher power. That's where I'll do my meditation stuff. So I hit those 5 things. It generally takes me about 60 minutes to 90 minutes, depending on where my workout is in there. Sometimes a little bit longer, but I account for it. That's how I start my day. That's how I get myself pumped and ready to go. And what happens is at the end of the day, I don't have um, any frustration or any like pain that I didn't do anything for me. Because at the end of the day, you get the kids to bed, and you're like, okay, where was I in this whole picture? It got me. I took care of me. I took care of those that are important to me. I planted those seeds. So now I have the energy to focus on the kids and be there for them because I was able to take care of myself. So that's, and look, that it took me a while to get to that process, but now I've kind of mapped it out. In fact, if your listeners are interested, I give it away, the whole process. They just go to cletuscoffey.com/morning. You get access to my morning routine. I kind of walk you through it, obviously free to them, but just give you an insight of how they can create a standard for themselves.